Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to part 1 and the introduction to generation 3 of my Rakes to Riches Legacy Challenge. And if you are returning, welcome back. And it's been a while since I've been playing with this save because I was working on having 2 of the Sims age up from infants to the teen stage. And those are Bill and Brian, who are cousins, and they were born in my Love Struck save. And they just became teens, and so I've moved them into the household with my legacy family, which the oldest and the main sim is Beatrix here, and they're just fishing because they started with nothing, and I just have them fishing. And again, the 3 of them are teens, and Beatrix is here with her younger sister Betty, and their uncle, who was a child, Andrew, who was essentially raised up in the household with them. He was actually born a while ago, but I only have aging on for my current household, so nobody else ages unless I actually age them up, which I normally, like this here is from the first generation, and when I left she was a young adult, and when Beatrix and Betty's parents became young adults, I had the family over and I aged them up to adults so that they became adults. So that's as old as I plan on letting them be, because I don't like elders, and I don't like my Sims dying, and so that's how I do it. So each little generation is still living before and will be always. So that's that. So of course, it's a Rakes to Riches, so we are starting with no money. We probably will end up making a bit of money with these pop-ups over here that have come up, which we'll do. We'll take what we can get. So yeah, thank you. So she's actually gonna stop fishing here and move over to the next spot so that she can, work on this angling ace and get extra points, which she has quite a few because all of the teens would have completed all 8 child aspirations, 4 base game children aspirations, and then the 4 that came with growing together. Andrew has also finished all of his child aspirations. Betty still has a week till she becomes a teen, so she is still working on them, but she's got some of them completed. And you know what? I'm going to have Bill move over too, because he's doing the same thing. And then once I have him move, I guess. I'm not sure who you've learned is who who's a romance enthusiast, but sure. I don't think they have any likes that I gave them that I can remember, unless they were unless I was prompted for it, I should say. So we're going to have him. And now that he's moved over, let's move to where they are here. So the goal for this generation is essentially painting focused. And I'll put the details up, and I'll have a blog post where I have essentially summarized it. And to start with, we are living on Arid Ridge, which is a 40 by 30 lot. It was worth 5,500 simoleons. They didn't have to pay for that, obviously, and they were left. I think they probably gave them enough to buy the lot, and then once they came in, they had no money. And this is in the Skyward Palms neighborhood of Oasis Springs, so we don't have to worry about cold, yay, or anything like that, though it's spring, so it's fine. Though some places, even in spring, it's freezing. It's not necessarily a guarantee that you can fish. So our primary skill to focus on is going to be painting, and the secondary skills are going to be photography, logic, and charisma. And the reason the logic and charisma is because part of the goal is to do the painting careers, and one branch requires you to have high logic, and the other one requires you to have high charisma. Photography is just like part of the other one. So optional traits for this generation are to make them creative and or art lovers. So 4 of these Sims are creative. The 2 kids are creative, and 2 of the teens, which is Bill and Beatrix, are creative, and Bill's cousin, Brian, rush my name. I guess they're getting a bit hungry. We don't have a gathering going. That's not good. They're not going to be earning some points. Not so good, but we'll have to earn enough money to order a pizza, so they'll have some money to we'll sell something like fish to get that. But let me see, where are you? You're at 4 or 5. Why don't you switch over to the next one, and then I'll just do it one at a time so they don't get to the spot at the same time, and sometimes they find it will cancel each other out. So I'm not saying she has to be all the way there. I just want her to get a head start. And then we'll have you go, Bill. And then once you've partially gone, you're on your way over there, we'll have Brian. Brian definitely needs to go because he's already got 4 of the 5 fish. So hopefully they all fish here nicely, which also should help them build a relationship with each other, because fishing, I find, fishing together, they're good friends, and they had like barely any friendship at all before it started. And so anyway, so that's that. So what we have to do is have our main sim, who is Beatrix, do the painter career, and she has to do the master of the real branch. And the secondary sim, which will either be their sibling, i.e. Betty, or their spouse, who will eventually be Bill, though they're not going to be in a romantic relationship as teens, because I'm not sure if it's still an issue, but there was an issue, and I don't know if it's a Love Struck thing or if it's just like the change to the base game update, but I do have Love Struck regardless, where if they're in a relationship, a romantic relationship as teens, that it causes issues when they age up. And I'm not sure if that's been fixed yet or not. I can't remember, to be honest, but even before that was an issue, I was generally not having my Sims become romantic with each other at the teen stage, though I had in the past, because I found the high school years was a nuisance because they'd get upset about not asking each other to the prom. And I don't want to deal with that. I don't want them to get upset about it. And I don't want to have to remember to do it because I don't always take them to the prom. So I just prefer to take that out of the equation. So I was already not having them be in a relationship, and that wouldn't happen until they got to the young adult stage. So it's kind of doesn't matter. So either Bill or Betty, probably honestly it'll be Bill, is going to max the alternate branch, just because because Betty is a week younger. And so once they both maxed the painting career and the painting skill, and then at least one household member has maxed the photography skill, that, assuming, what's space game now? I'm pretty sure photography skill. Yeah, it is. It is actually. Then we can place the museum in Willow Creek. And at that point, museums and art centers in other worlds will be unlocked, which is why I'll probably have Bill do the career, because of the fact that age difference, and we'll get the museum and whatnot placed and unlocked quicker. So once that has been unlocked and placed, i.e. placed in Willow Creek and unlocked, I don't even know if I've removed it. I just don't let them go there. You can have your main sim, i.e. Beatrix, but I'll probably have them all do it, complete the painting aspiration. And then and I do have the Moschino stuff pack, so I'll be doing this, I'm going to have one sim, which will obviously be Betty, max the freelance photographer. So it'll be Betty who's going to do that, the freelance photographer career. So the collection for this, each generation has a collection to focus on. And for this generation, we're going to focus on collecting and displaying as many unique paintings from the various types of painting, at least a minimum of 3 from each type, i.e. classic, landscape, etc. Though landscape is actually an outdoor retreat one. I didn't actually realize that when I originally did this. As well as the different types of emotional paintings, sad, playful, I'm trying to think, sad, playful, flirty, angry. I think those are them, but I know them anyways. And focus, that is the other one. Have your 2 main sims get a paint by reference of each other and include them with the displayed paintings. I'll probably do it of the 3 of them, like the 2 plus the sister. So it will be Beatrix, Bill, and Betty. And then you can display the paintings on your home lot, which is what I probably will do, or you can place them on a museum lot. And then at that point, once museums are unlocked, if you want, but I won't probably be doing this, you can place the completed collections from the various generations on the museum lot. But I'll probably just keep them on my generational lots. That's what my intention is. And optional, you can try and get a photo or painting of any children born in this generation from all the life stages while they're still in the home. I may do that, but I'm also going to try and reduce the amount of pictures I have, because there is an issue with having too many pictures and it causing your save to bloat in size. So Now, one thing is that some paintings are locked by skill level, so both low and high. Some you can only get at the low level, and some can only be done at the high level. So I have a separate painting challenge, and when I did that, and this generation is modeled after that particular challenge, I had one sim paint and make essentially the money, and you could only sell. You can do it however you want, but I had it that I could only sell duplicate paintings. So anything that was, unique had to be capped, and only the duplicates could be sold. But in that case, I would sell the more valuable ones and keep the cheaper ones so that your bills don't get as high, which is obviously more important if you're keeping it on your lot. So because of that, so what I did is I had one sim make a lot of money from painting with only selling the duplicates. And then later on, when we had a lot of money, I had the second sim start painting, and they started like a whole pile of paintings at the different, like a whole bunch of classic, a whole bunch of landscape and whatever as they unlocked, so that they would get the lower level at that point. That said, there is actually a mod, Kayla has it, that unlocks low-level paintings. So if you use mods, you can use that. And I do use that mod, but currently I have it out, and I will add it back in once I've sort of got the minimum paintings. I'm going to try and see how many I can get without it, but later on in the generation, I'll add it back in. But there is also Little Miss Sam has a mod that lets you choose your painting. I'm not going to add that one, but if you want to make it easier, you could do that. And in general, I prefer to have that. But for this particular generation, at least for now, I don't want to have that in my game. So hopefully I keep it out, because I generally like to have it in for my other households. But I'll probably just keep it out in general for now, so I don't have to remember to move it in and out. But eventually I will put that back in, but down the line. So there is a list of paintings. I have not done it, and I will have it linked in my description. I have it linked in my Google Drive with all the rules, which shows you all the paintings. So if you want to look at it, you can. So that said, essentially the rules are just basic rules for rags to riches. It's optional that you can, I'm starting with nothing. You could, if you want, not let them travel until they have 1,000. That used to be an old rule from Drifter. There's no longer a rule in Drifter, but it adds its own challenges, because you can't go use like public facilities to sleep and eat and go to the bathroom and all that unless they're in the neighborhood that they live in. I'll probably do that, but also the other thing sometimes you can do is you just don't let them sell into their inventory. And you can't really do both, because if they're going to be in their neighborhood, unless I guess you could do odd jobs, but we're not really doing that. And a lot of the odd jobs require you to travel to do them, though some are rabbit hole type things. Though if you do that, you can still go to school with them, or go if they're all spellcasters, born in game spellcasters, and you can go to Magic HQ to you say go get a broom or whatever. Though she has a broom, and I have a few things in their inventory, and I've totaled up essentially the value of the functional useful things, and it was $332. So I'm going to, once they have money, take that off so that so they're kind of paying for it. But I didn't see the point of not bringing it from their other household. But they got some birthday things, like Bill got a couple of things when he aged up, when he opened his presents, and there were things that went into his personal inventory. It was like a gnome and a seed packet, and I let them keep that. So, but we're not going to sell any of that to make money. That's we can open it up, and eventually I might not worry about it. But usually I keep my gnomes, to be quite honest. Though I sometimes sell some of those on the yard sale table, but this one will be a gnome that will stay for now until it's, we've got so much money that it doesn't really matter, at which point I might sell things, kind of thing. So, that's my normal goals is that, the kids have to do all of the 8 aspirations. So we're going to continue to work on that with Betty, because she's not completed them. As teens, we want them to have a minimum of, I believe it's 4, but I always go for 5 anyways. And whatever it is, I'll have it in the, written blog post. Positive character values. They don't actually have to be positive. You just have to, an optional goal is to make them have 4 of 5 character values. And if you want to play with negative ones, you can make them whatever you want. I just generally like to have positive ones. And and for my teens, I like them to do the admired icon, which I had her on and she's working there. All three of them are working on it, but they've got a little bit of progress. She still has to do a couple of posts, and they are on the second tier where they have to list outfits on Trendy, which obviously is another way to make money. And the other one, I can never remember what it's called. I don't know why I have a blank with it. I always forget. It's the one where they have to get to the top of the, I don't know, just go look at it instead of get, I don't know why I can, goal oriented. That's the other one that I'm going to have them complete. So, but, so they're fishing. So let's actually see what we have caught. So we have to mount or bowl fish, which we have fish here. So we're going to take our cheapest ones, actually, mount. We're going to sell them anyways, the cheap ones, to, that's 10, and we'll do that one. And there we go, we're done that. And she needs to fish for 4 more hours. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to sell, because we need a little bit of money, because we're going to do this you and your phone, but we need some money to buy the pizza. But she also has some points, so we're actually going to go in. Well, we probably didn't need to sell that one, but you can't sell with small fun fact with business and hobbies, which will probably maybe for them have that, because once they max the painting skill, they'll be able to do painting classes and make some money from that. And then maybe we can charge an hourly admission and people can come and look at the pictures. Not that I think they will, but like the idea is like it's a museum. You come in and you look and you charge an admission for it, as well as being able to have classes. So I was going to go in here. She already has obviously quite a few satisfaction points. So I said they were creative, but she is also an animal enthusiast. And because she did the 8 child aspirations, she's got the traits for that. And she aged up with high self-esteem, even though there's a bug where you can't actually see it. She has strong bloodline. And she was a top-notch infant, and I'm pretty sure she was a top-notch, yes, she was a top-notch toddler. She had maxed all of her toddler skills, and she has the romantic sage trait. And I've already got her steel bladder. So she has that, and she's observant. Those are the reward traits that I can remember getting her. But we should try and get her some more, and we'll do the same with the others. One of the reward traits, because she has quite a few points that we're going to get. We're going to get Gym Rat, because I'll probably have her jogging to clear mind. And she already has Observant. And I want to get her free services. I think we'll put up with the fact that her paintings are worth more and get her marketable, just so that the ones we sell have more value. And like I said, we'll keep the cheaper ones, but they'll just have to pay for it with their bills. And then one thing I'll also get is Frugal. So she is currently actually in the drama practical performer, and she's level 3. So she's going to stay in this, and hopefully she'll have to learn. She'll have to do it on herself, get her acting to level 3. And then hopefully on Monday she gets her promotion, and then I'll have her switch over to the high school years career so that she can do that for that, the aspiration that we're doing for the teens, which requires her to to join an after-school activity, and it has to be one of the 4 from high school years. Let's just let them continue fishing. But what I have found is that the reaching level 3, I think both the scouts and definitely the drama counts for that. We'll find out for sure about the scouts, because the other 2 are still in their scouts. Because I had found when I switched sims between saves, because they were raised in the other save and they were just moved into this save, it didn't remember if I quit. It didn't remember they had maxed it, even though they kept their scouting aptitude, which is another reward trait that Beatrix does have. So let's take a look. Okay, we finally got to 509. Luckily we got that. So I'm going to actually switch her, because she doesn't need to be on this for now, over to the leader of the pack, and we're going to buy, the camera is drifting there. We need to add them into the club. Not that it matters that much. They're going to be in it now. And we need to buy the Rally the Troops perk so that they can rally the troops. And I'm not planning on, usually I have a tiny home, and the last generation, it was still a tiny home when we left. Tiny residential lot. the second tier, and the first generation started that way and then it switched over. And I don't actually know if I want her to level up her painting that fast, and they already level it up pretty quickly with the scouting aptitude and the top-notch toddler. So I'm not sure if I need the boost from that. So I'm going to put her back here, and that's Rocky. No one can really buy anything because we didn't start this right away. So we need some more points, but she can rally the troops now that we did that. Oh, right. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to end the gathering and start again so that they're just automatically in it. And now we're going to rally the troops. And I'm probably going to actually have to have her leave the other club because they were in a family club from before. And I think I forgot. But I think I can go in here and do this. And I think you can just say, oh, right. Let me see. I thought you could leave the club. Cancel membership. So we want them all to cancel their membership of that. All being Andrew and Betty. So Andrew actually is his father Winter. Right. So then we're going to go in here. And we're going to cancel our membership. And then we're going to switch over to Betty. We're going to switch into this. And I do this because, one, this way when we travel, that club won't automatically come with them, which took me till recently to realize that this is the way to do it. And two, we don't have the options. And I was having problems if they were in too many club gatherings. So why don't you come over and fish over here? So that you can become friends with them. Because just fishing together helps them become friends. And eventually I'll have Andrew switch. I don't know if you can have 4. I don't know if he can go fishing because Aiden here from the first generation is sitting there. So now let's take a look here and see. So we have to open the phone. I think this one gives you 2,000, so we're going to just finish it and get the money, and then we can get an easel, and she can start painting. Though she unfortunately is very confident, and she needs to be inspired for the painting. So we're going to go into home and order a delivery. Yeah, and then pizza, and we're going to get a cheese pizza. Oh, and the other one is that Bill is a rancher, and he has like essentially similar traits that Beatrix has because he is Max. He did all the kids one. He has that romantic sage. He's a steel bladder, top-notch toddler, top-notch infant, observant. They also all of the teens have bonus aspiration traits because in each household I had got to the point, possibly even completed for most of the adults in the household, the soul's journey, and they all passed down their traits before they moved on. So I gave him spa membership when he aged up, and then he got gregarious, alluring, quick learner, collector, essence of flavor, business savvy, and muser from everybody else in the household. And I'll give him a different one when he ages up. But I purposely actually checked out what Beatrix had, because Beatrix has something that with the athletic one, I'm pretty sure, because I think we got that from Paulo. So Beatrix, I don't remember which one I gave her when she aged up, to be quite honest, because I'm not sure which one she might have got business savvy when she aged up, or maybe I gave her alluring. I'd have to go back and look, but it doesn't really matter. But she has all of these. Quick learner, domestic, collector, high metabolism is the one that is sort of missing. Alluring, business savvy, muser, and essence of flavor. So like I said, we'll pass them around once they have completed theirs at the young adult stage. They can't do it till then. And essentially Bill is a rancher, and Brian is an animal enthusiast and a genius, and those are his. And he has animal affection as his unique one, so he'll stay until he completes his as a young adult. He'll stay around until he's got it, and we can pass that over. But so Bill And Andrew will probably be eventually, Brian and Andrew will eventually be moving out. So we have room for kids, essentially, is what we need. So now we need to take a photo with our phone. So we'll have you, she might be the one who just maxes the photo, but the other, Betty, will have to max it too, because she's going to be the one. I didn't mean to actually do this. I meant to take a selfie. We're just going to be selling them all anyways, because I don't want to keep too many photos in our inventory. If I'd done selfies, I would have kept one of them, because you usually use that for the career. So now we'll just sell these, because I don't want to keep too many photos. And then we have to chat or play a game. So we're just going to play a game. So then that'll give us, I'm pretty sure it gives us 2,000. Then we'll work on the other ones too, just to do it. But really, what we're going to try and do is sell some of these. Have someone have a yard sale. We especially got a future cube. That's a good money maker too. So we're going to try and buy a yard sale table with the money that we made, and an easel, and probably a street gallery, though we don't need that right away. But we're actually going to leave this part here. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!